My name is Marc Montini, and my company is the Montini & Company Tax Advisory Group. In this short video series, I have asked my retirement clients, my financial planning clients, what their biggest fears were before they retired and what their biggest fears were after they retired. I hope their experiences can help you with your retirement journey. These first questions come from Matt and Zoe. Matt and Zoe came to me about a year or so before they retired. Typically, I'd like a little bit more time than that, but we were able to make that work. It goes like this. Regarding the questions I had before and after retirement, in addition to the one everyone asked, namely, how much money will I need to retire, I was also a little obsessed and concerned with whether to pay off the balance of my mortgage with my retirement funds. Well, first off, the question of how much money do you need to retire? The better question is, how much income are you going to need each month? If you only need $3,000 a month, well, most of that's going to be picked up by Social Security. So you don't have to have a lot of assets in order to support that type of a lifestyle. Now, if you need $8,000 a month, that's a different story. Now we're going to need some assets in order to pick up the supplemental income we need to get to that $8,000 mark. So it's really not a question of, do you need $1 million or $500,000 or $100,000? It really depends on how much monthly income are you going to need. Now, paying off the mortgage with retirement funds, I always do prefer to see my clients as debt-free as possible going into retirement. But utilizing a retirement funds that could trigger a big tax burden that we're not fully prepared for. So let's say your mortgage is $200,000. Well, taking $200,000 out of, say, an IRA or a 401k or 403b, all of that is taxable income, and that tax burden may not work. What strikes me the most about my pre-retirement attitude was the general feeling of fear and uncertainty. I'm sure this is a prevailing mood of many, if not most, pre-retirees. And it was greatly, though not completely alleviated when we went over with you the income and expense worksheet. And again, understanding how much monthly income you need is of vital importance. That definitely made it easier for us to relax a bit when we saw we wouldn't struggle the way we thought it might. Having an income plan, a written plan in place where you can see where your income is coming from, that it is sustainable, and that it is being taken in the most tax efficient manner possible will absolutely alleviate the fears that people have. And that income plan is a living, breathing entity, that it is not the end, it is the beginning. Every time I meet or speak with a client, the first thing I do is I pull up their income plan. I update all the account balances. I affirm how much that monthly income need is. Did that change? Did it go up or did it go down? But having that written plan in place has absolutely been very important for helping my clients to begin to enjoy their retirement. I think there was a question of what was a good asset mix for us given our risk profile. And then there was the issue of whether an annuity would be part of this mix. I remember feeling a little trepidation on your suggestion of including a fixed indexed annuity, but this turned out to work out well for us given the volatile market. So when it comes to the assets, we have to look at liquidity and safety, right? The issue of utilizing an annuity is that, especially a fixed indexed annuity, is that they're not as liquid as we need them to be. But a fixed index annuity will guarantee against stock market losses. So when we're putting together an overall portfolio, we've got to find that balance between liquid assets and assets that may not be as liquid as we need them to be. But Matt hit it pretty good here, that the reason we do utilize an annuity for a portion of the portfolio is that we know there's going to be volatile times. It could be a global pandemic. It can be a significant rise in inflation. It can be a natural disaster. But there's always going to be something that is going to lead to volatility. So we always are going to plan for that. As for what to do with the rest of the assets that we're going to remain liquid, it depends on what we need to achieve. Do we need to generate some supplemental income from those assets? Do we need to grow those assets? Do we need to preserve those assets? And based on what our goals turn out to be, that's going to dictate what the asset mix is going to be. But I would say this, that we always want to make sure that we are invested with a purpose, and we're always going to be invested based on what the economic cycle dictates we should be invested in. Now, lastly here, as for post-retirement questions, I can only think of how often should we reassess our financial retirement plan, or what economic indicators should trigger a financial plan reevaluation. Well, that's the process that we always go through. We're always watching the markets. We're always adjusting the holdings that our clients are invested in based on what the economy dictates that they should be invested in. How often does that assessment need to occur? Daily. Daily we need to watch these things and make sure that we are invested again based on what the economy is telling us how we should be invested. Our two biggest issues with retirement were overcoming fear and uncertainty, and then establishing trust with a financial advisor. On both accounts, we've succeeded, though it must be said that fear and uncertainty never completely go away, but they diminish to background noise, which is usually not noticeable. It's true. We're always, that fear is always going to be in the back of somebody's mind. And so often when I print the income plan for people, I'll tell them, put it on your nightstand. So when you wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat thinking, oh my God, what have I done? That you can look and see, okay, I have a plan. I know where my money's coming from. I know it's sustainable, and I know that it's coming from in the most tax efficient manner possible.